Be good, say what's up, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back. Manchester City versus Liverpool 2-0. Cemented. Everybody, according to everybody on the net, it's already cemented that Liverpool are champions. They're Premier League winners for some reason because they beat Manchester City, which I think is the biggest mistake you could make. Yes, it looks likely, and I'm with a lot of you guys that it looks likely that Liverpool are going to win this, and nobody else is going to take this away from them. But and this has been said way before the Manchester City game. It's been said a while back ago, months ago, and I just think there's still so much football to be played, and anything could happen right now. They could drop points, losing to some teams that you wouldn't expect them to be losing, or you wouldn't want. If you're a Liverpool fan, you would not concede to the idea that they should be losing to these teams, and yet that could very much happen. If you look back 2 weeks ago, the tie against Everton, very difficult game. I don't think that game should have, before the game, I don't think that game should have been omitted from the fixture for Liverpool and their path, I should say, to winning the Premier League. And yet it was difficult. It wasn't an easy match. It was a match that it was a game that they should have lost, quite honestly. Everton were just a better side, and that was a very poor performance by Liverpool. And they were lucky to get that 1 point. Absolutely lucky. Absolutely lucky. They shouldn't have gotten that point, I think. And players like Salah that should have came through. I mean, he came through with the goal and the assist, but those are the moments. Those are moments where the big guy has to step up, and he didn't. So that brings me to another point. The whole talk about him being Ballon d'Or is crazy, but I accept the times that we're living. Players like Salah are more likely to win. I mean, you have someone like Rodri that I never would have expected that to happen, and I like Rodri. I think he deserved the Ballon d'Or. I think Vinicius Jr. Or Vinicius ended up shooting himself in the foot pretty much. I think he should have won, and he didn't, and rightfully so. It goes to Rodri. But yeah, there's nobody else with the numbers that he's pulling up. Salah is the contender and probably will win the Ballon d'Or, which is, to me, it's nuts. It is crazy that someone like that is winning because there's so many games that he taps it in and he scores a goal, which is, he's getting the job done, right? But then he's not involved at all in the game. You don't see him. You don't hear of Salah. It's much like Messi when he won his last Ballon d'Or. He had to win he won the World Cup, and because of that, he was already proclaimed Ballon d'Or. Everybody knew he was going to win. So yeah, but in this game, absolutely phenomenal game from Salah. I loved his performance in this game, especially those passes that I'm here for the passes, man. I feel like I should have a shirt. I'm here for the Salah passes, because even when you're looking at the game and I'm trying to guess before he makes a pass where he's gonna put the pass. He never ceases to amaze me. He always surprises me. I can never ahead of time get the pass right. He is so accurate with those passes, and he was so good transitioning the ball, taking the ball, just taking a lot of players with him. Always the worry with Salah, and then leaving other players like Diaz and Szoboszlai, to be able to score or get close to scoring a goal. I thought he was great. I thought he was absolutely great. And going back to defend with Doku, who was absolutely sauteing Trent Alexander-Arnold. Some people disagree. Some people say that, that's what Trent wanted him to do, like take him to the corner. Because he has no end product. I wholly disagree with that theory, that idea. But Salah was the one. He would come down, and he was actually the one to block or take the ball away from Doku. So, excellent match from Salah. I absolutely enjoyed the game today from Salah. Szoboszlai, another one. That little flick for the first goal, genius. I don't know where that came from. Really, really good from Szoboszlai, which was kind of odd because the first, I think it was 12, 13 minutes before the game, I don't know where that came from. Manchester City were actually not just dominating, but they were just setting up the tempo. Yes, there was no clear chances. Doku cooking, frying, sauteing. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Sabinho on the other side also. And there was nobody. There was no Haaland. And Haaland, for me, sometimes he does what Salah did, what I just mentioned, that he doesn't get involved in the game. He doesn't have any touches, but his mere presence just sets him apart. He's able to pull away so many players and just cause that thought in the back of your head that, you can never leave this guy alone. You can never underestimate Haaland. And I think Marmoush, he seems confident to be able to take on that role to help Manchester City progress and score and even win big games like these. But he has to adapt. I think it's a thing where he has to adapt. He needs time for that. It's just some time. It's going to take some time because he is a really, really good player, very skillful, and I love the fact that he's taking long shots, which I don't think he's allowed to do that with the way you see Pep just losing his mind on the sideline. But he wasn't that man today. He was not that man today. He was not there. He got the goal, which was an offside, really good goal. I think the second time that he tried to do that on the left-hand side, he needed to pass the ball maybe to Foden. Even though Van Dijk, with the game that he was having, I think he was going to block it. But the better choice probably would have been passing it to Foden instead of trying to score from a very difficult angle and with his weaker foot at that. So it just seemed like Manchester City were on the way to probably scoring a goal, to actually probably even winning this game. And it's just, they looked good. They looked organized. They didn't look as messy. Yes, there was sometimes like those balls that, oh man, like the positioning was kind of in the middle, like Guardiola, like he was out of place, and sometimes it just looked awful. But for the most part, going up front, they looked good. They looked really good, and I was, I gotta say, I was a little bit disappointed. I was a little disappointed because I wanted a game where they score, and then Liverpool were going to be a little bit pressed, and it was going to be a just more exciting and more dynamic game. And it's not like we got a slow game. There were parts and pockets in the game that things were a little bit slow. Because overall, I thought it was a really, really good game from both teams, but especially from Liverpool. But Liverpool were kind of just, they scored their 2 goals and then they just fell back for the most part. And they did a superb job at that. They did a really, really good job at that. When I think of center backs, and I think one of the best center backs in the world, I always think of, because I'm watching Premier League, I'm always thinking of Saliba and Gabriel. Even though I don't follow Arsenal, I still think there's no better pairing than Saliba and Gabriel. But man, did Konate and Van Dijk aerially and just on the ground with the tackles and the anticipation, both of them were so good. So good. They played a really excellent game today. And the middle too, the middle with the McAllister and Gravenberch did not allow any balls for Foden or KDB. And anytime also KDB or Foden had the ball, oh man, Foden, I mean, what happened just last year? You were, MVP, Premier League Player of the Year. I did not see any of that. I mean, certainly sometimes secure with the ball, rotating the ball, sure. But other than that, nothing. Nothing. Had a shot, not convincing at all that I was going to be of any threat, any danger. Alisson just saved the ball, caught the ball. And then KDB, which is one of the biggest fall from graces that you've ever seen. I was never really a fan of KDB because I always used to hear him being just this like world class. At the time when he was having those phenomenal years, he was supposedly a Ballon d'Or contender. And I never saw that even back then. I wasn't watching football back then, but I just never got his football to be considered to be that great, to take him to that podium, right? The altar of Ballon d'Or. But again, things have changed and things are differently. So I'm not saying anybody could be a Ballon d'Or winner, but it's just not the same. The least expected, in my opinion, are nominated for this Ballon d'Or. But it's just so sad to see him when he gets the ball. That shot that he took, and I think he nicked Soboslai in the back of the head at the end when he was trying to block it. Just, oh my God, that was so bad. That was so bad. He just looks like rubbery, like his legs, like they can't put up with the demands of the game. His aim is not there. His pass quality has just diminished. It's just taken a huge dip. Just not the same player. But Liverpool did a great job in the middle, not allowing any of these balls to get to these two very important players. And then for me, I disagree with people saying that like Doku or Trent was doing exactly what he wanted by pushing Doku to the line because he has no end product. I think he has end product, which is centering those balls. Had City had a Marmoush that's a little bit more integrated into the team and had more time, a more seasoned veteran player of the Premier League. I'm not saying he needs to be there 5+ years, but maybe one season at least under his belt. I think that would have been a very different game for him, especially the balls that were getting through from Doku. That defense was just killing it today. Liverpool did not let anything in. There was no space. And anytime there was seeming amounts of space open, they quickly blocked it. They quickly blocked it with Gravenberch and McAllister as well. So really, really good in the back from Liverpool. But Doku, I thought, was excellent today. He was really, really good today. Needed 2-3 players sometimes, went past them with almost ease, and I don't think that should be denied. I don't think that could be overlooked. He absolutely destroyed Trent. I want to say the same thing with Savinho, but there was really sometimes no end product, although he took people down the line and he was effective in centering the ball and giving some opportunity for forwards to be able to score. But some of those diagonal runs, which I don't think Robertson was doing on purpose, just ended up being a pass that went nowhere. a pass that actually he could have done instead of doing all that running. He could have done that before, but I still thought he had a really good game. They were clearly the most dangerous players for City, but I don't think he was as effective as Doku. Not because he smoked past his marker, because I think he did on occasion, and sometimes he had 2-3 players. Savinho had like 2-3 players on him, and he still got the job done. But a lot of those plays didn't really go anywhere. They just ended up going back, recycled to the back, or just ended up going in the middle, which ended up again just being recycled to the back. So, but regardless of that, I still thought Savinho had a pretty impactful game, just because he didn't lose the ball. He participated a lot more. He got more involved than other games where he's losing the ball. He's not that as effective on the wing. And today he was a little bit more effective. But it's a combination of City not having a player like Haaland and Marmoush not being ready to take on that role. Not for this game at least. And Liverpool just being phenomenal defensively. I thought they were really great. Even though, like I said, they scored the goal and then they just kind of sat in the back. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.